we're gonna be replacing the transmission shift solenoids. This is the 6.6 diesel coupled with the Allison transmission. Oh, let's crawl under, get started. So there are a couple of different pan options for this transmission. The procedure will be the same, but the internal filter will be different. We start by draining our fluid, 15 millimeter. Whew, got it. It's nice they have a drain plug. Fluid looks pretty good. I think they take care of this transmission pretty well. Just need some shift solenoids. All right, that's pretty good. We'll put our drain plug back in. Tighten this down. Now we can start pulling off our pan bolts, 13 millimeter. All right, last bolt. I got a longer catch pan under here just to help with drips. Hold on to the pan while that comes out. Oh, there it goes. Hold on to it, get my catch pan in position. And just down. Nice and easy. There we go. Now the pan still will have fluid in it, so just be careful as you lower it, not to tilt it too much. We'll just let this drip underneath, we'll pull our pan out, and we'll inspect for debris. All right, we'll just dump the rest of the fluid out. Just inspecting the bottom of the pan. There's a magnet, that'll collect some debris. They just wanna make sure that it's just the solenoid that needs to be replaced and not the transmission going bad. And actually, it looks really good. I don't see anything. Let's pull this magnet off. Pull our gasket off first. Now this is a reusable gasket, kind of stuck on there. I don't want to damage it. There we go. But if it is leaking, then of course replace the gasket. But if it's sealing nice and tight, go ahead and reuse it. Okay, we'll pop out our magnet. Well, it doesn't look like it's removable. So let's just inspect the top of it. Yeah, just your normal sludge. No chunks of gears or clutches or anything in here, so I think we're good. We're just gonna wipe it out. Got an Amazon box. We'll just put our old towels in. Get the sides really good where the gasket goes. There, we just wanna make sure the pan is 100% free of dirt. You can blow it out with some air, some brake clean, whatever you need. We just want it 100% clean. All right, I'll finish this up with some brake clean. Let's hop back under, take a look at our shift solenoids. All of our shift solenoids and pressure solenoids are on this back side. Easy to see. Looking at the manual, it shows you replacing these things with the valve body out of the vehicle. We're gonna see if we can do it in vehicle. That'll just be so much easier. But if needed, we'll go ahead and remove the valve body. But let's give this a shot first. Let's start by removing our filter, and that'll help eliminate some of our drips. So our filter should just wiggle out. There we go. A lot of fluid comes out. I think it's inevitable that we're gonna get dripped on, but we'll just wipe what we can, and we'll periodically rewipe, and I guess just enjoy the tranny bath. Let me see if I can set you up in a good place so you can see better. Yeah, hopefully that works. So let's start by just removing this harness. Got our electrical connectors. We'll just pull off. There we go. There we go. Got this side one here. These blue ones, you just wiggle and pull down. They don't have the same kind of tab. And then these tabs, you just kind of pull out and push back. There we go. Let's see if how are we held in place here? Looks like the harness is just held on with clips, so pull down. And the same clips that hold those shift solenoids in, these clips here, hold this harness in. So that's actually pretty sweet. So this whole harness is out of the way now. All these transmission parts that come out, I'm gonna set them on a clean rag. I wonder if I can just bungee that out of the way real quick. Let me grab something. Maybe I can stuff it in here. There we go. Just kind of stuffs that out of the way. There, that's good. All right, this is sweet. I was looking at the manual and it looks like we can do everything just like this. So we're gonna pop these out. All the shift solenoids are the same part number, which makes it easy for us. There's one up here you can't see in the camera, but we are able to get to that retainer. It's on top. So just with a pick, I'm gonna get back there, pop that retainer, and then I'll show you as I pull it out. There we go. Got that retainer from up there. Pull that solenoid out. That is all 3 solenoids. We're also gonna replace these 2 pressure control solenoids. For that, we'll have to remove this little plate here. Let me wipe this off. I think they are 8mm. Okay, all 3 bolts are the same size. It's good to know. Let's see if this plate will wiggle down. Grab my pick. There we go. I'm gonna move this pipe a little. So far, all the bolts have been the same size. Oh, there we go. So there's 2 things to note on these pressure solenoids. If you are replacing them, there's a little rod that wants to fall out. It's not under spring pressure, but just by gravity, it wants to fall out. Make sure that that's in place. And then these pressure solenoids are different part numbers. The one on this outside ends in a 9.5, and the one on the inside ends in a 9.6. We're gonna put a little bit of transmission fluid on our seal or our O-ring. I wanna make sure that rod goes in, and then you'll feel it kind of sink in. I had it just a second ago. So this outer one does have a spring. The inner one does not, but I don't know why it's not going in. When I look in there with a flashlight, there's nothing obstructing it. It should just go straight in. So I'm not sure what's going on. The battery in my camera is gonna die, so let me change that out real quick. I'm gonna look at this a little closer, study the manual, and then we'll be back. The shift solenoids, no big deal. All right, so I did end up getting one in, and I found our issue, which really isn't an issue. It's just that the bore is so tightly machined to our valve that you have to get it just in the right place to fit in. So let's do this one together. So I have my pick. There's a hole in the center. Let me pop it back out and show you. There's a hole in the center of it where I could put my pick and just kind of finesse it around. Because of this is a nice sharp edge, it gets caught on the sharp edge inside the bore. So that's just our whole issue, is getting it lined up so it fits in. So the whole trick is just patience, a little finesse. Sorry for the interruption. I was super excited editing this video, and in the process, I found out I'm missing some files. I must not have done something that I should have done. So getting that pressure solenoid back in, I don't have that on camera. And somehow the shift solenoids, getting those back in, wiring harness and everything, I don't have that on camera. Don't know what happened. I didn't do it on purpose. I apologize. The shift solenoids, super easy. You just put those in, those clips, lock it in place, you're done. The pressure solenoid, if that valve comes out, just keep working with it. It will pop back in, I promise. But in hindsight, I think the reason they came out to begin with is because I had the vehicle at a slight slant. So the front was a little higher than the rear. But I think if I had it reversed, having the rear a little higher than the front, I don't think they would have came out at all. So just something to think about. If you're doing this, maybe have the back jacked up or up on roll-up stands, and I don't think you'll have a problem with those pressure solenoids like I did. But again, it's just getting it in the right spot. They'll slide right in, and then the pressure solenoid just goes right in. That plate locks it in place, and those bolts are 108 inch-pounds. So the video will continue. I have one more solenoid I'm replacing, and then we'll slap everything back together. So you have this last one down here we're gonna do. It's a pressure solenoid as well, but it uses the same part number as our shift solenoid. I wanna unbolt all of this. These have all been the same length. Okay, very gently. Okay, we want it down just enough so we can get access to that clip in the back. Get it with my pick. There we go. Pop this out. Get some tranny fluid on it. There we go. Put in our new one. Put our clip back in. There we go. And then bolt it back up. Let's go ahead and wiggle this in a little further. There we go. Snug these down. These are the same torque, 108 inch-pounds. Turn this sideways. Plug it in. Nice. That's all the solenoids we're going to replace. Let's put our filter back on and then install our pan. I'm going to back you up a little. From our filter hole, we're just going to take out the old gasket. That should just pop out. There we go. Just so we get the old gasket out. The new filter, we're gonna take some transmission fluid and just lube up that new gasket. We'll wiggle it in. There we go. Just until it bottoms out. We're just gonna take a clean rag and just wipe around where the gasket's gonna go, just to make sure it's 100% grit free. And we're gonna reuse our old gasket but we made sure it was wiped off nice and clean. Get a couple of bolts started. All right, we'll just throw the rest of them in. Now we'll snug them down. I don't have a torque spec on these pan bolts, so I'm just gonna go with 108 inch-pounds. All right, let's fill her up. Pull our dipstick out, put in our funnel. Now the manual said 7 quarts after a filter service, but depending on what pan size you have, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. This out. Now we'll start it up, take it for a good test drive, make sure it's shifting smoothly, and we have no codes. And we're good to go. All right, we are back from the test drive and everything is great. No codes, shift smooth, repair complete. There is one solenoid we did not replace, and that was the torque converter clutch solenoid. You can still see it right there with all the other solenoids. Other than that, getting those other pressure solenoids back in can be a little challenge. You just gotta wiggle that little valve so it fits right in the bore and just finesse it, you'll get it. Or just go for the shift solenoids, leave the pressure solenoids alone. That's all up to you, whatever you wanna do. I'll have links in the description for all the parts and tools used. If you have any questions, comment, post down below. Hope your repair goes well. We'll see you on the next one. Oh, and in case you're wondering, we did replace that external filter as well. I didn't show it. See you later.